Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Anders. I'll be your host for this evening. Welcome to PNR here on YouTube, and you will be witnessing round 3 of the GT2 World Championship hosted by PNR on the World Sim Series website. Today we are at Autodrome. Oh, hang on, make sure I gotta get this right. Autodrome Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari, aka Imola. And we actually have a rather mixed grid this evening, which is quite interesting. After round 2, the Porsche clearly can't make the full race distance without a stop. So, but we have 3 Porsches on track today, 3 BMWs, and 2 Ferraris. So I am intrigued to see how they get on today. We're looking at our current championship leader, if we take a look at our standings. So at this moment in time, 66 is in fact on top. Skyring is not able to race tonight, so any point 66 can get tonight is going to be a massive plus. Lessamy is in the purple Nurple Ferrari and should be making some good gains up on Skyring. Korsch, I haven't seen enter the server, so I'm guessing they're not in tonight. Lloyd is also not racing tonight. Sobek is also not in the server tonight, so that allows Butler and Coulson to also make some rather good gains. And we have some new drivers here today. So our new drivers include, let's take a little look at them. Let's see if I can get their names correctly right. Labartolo in the BMW. First time racing at a pre-ninja event. Glicky. Definitely seen that name in our events beforehand. Can't quite remember when, but I'm sure I've seen that name in before. Smith. Technically, this isn't their first PNR event, but it's their first one where they're on the live stream. The PNTCC had some difficulties on Monday, and they raced with one other person in that lobby earlier this week, and they are in the Porsche. So I'm intrigued to see how they get on with the 200% tyre wear. They will have to pit unless they've gone for the hard tyre, but even then, well, according to this, they've gone for the softs. So we'll have to wait and see. We've also got Garcia Soto, who is racing as well in the Porsche, which is the quicker car. No disputing that, but it's also the hardest and the worst on its tyre performance. And who else is brand new here today? That is it, actually. Everyone else you've seen before. So Mark Coulson, a South African, is in today in the Ferrari, one of the only 2 Ferraris in the lovely red GT2 Ferrari. Good all-round car, really. Not the best at cornering, as Coulson and the purple Nurple Ferrari of Lessamy have found out today. So we'll have to wait and see how they get on. And then, as I mentioned earlier, 66 is currently our championship leader. But Butler is back in today. And we'll have to wait and see how they get on today. He's fully aware of what needs to be done for this Porsche to be at the front of the grid come the end of the race. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of the Porsches do get away quite well. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what sort of tyre management they will do today. Butler currently, it doesn't state what tyres he's currently on, but the other Porsches are on a mixture of mediums and softs. And there's the purple Nurple just holding up. Butler running through. Let's have a little look at the car options again. The car cameras. Doing well to keep that Porsche going, and there's the onboard camera. And not quite going on the gear stick. Quite tentative through that left-hander there. Smith is currently our fastest lapper right now. Getting ready to wind up for a fast lap by the looks of it. So let's see how they get on through sector 1. Butler just pips ahead of them. 45 flat. Not quite as smooth as Butler going through that section there. But this isn't looking like, well, it could be a push lap as the rear end steps out on them a little bit. We'll just see what cameras we can get on the go. Clicky! I think the BMW will be the overall better car in this race over a race distance as 66 pips into P2, half a second off the pace of Butler. Lobatolo moves into P6. Nicky's just coming over the timing line now and stays in P7. Coulson is in the pits as well, and Lettermy and Smith are the only ones left out on track. Lettermy trying to get as much track time as humanly possible. Nicely done there. Mo hoping Butler can get his first win. I think it's going to be very difficult in that Porsche. I'm surprised he didn't change his car, Mo. I'm very surprised he didn't change his car from last week. But clearly, he feels quite at home in the Porsche. But I mean, if he's half a second quicker, realistically, he might be able to get a good lead, pit, and still come back with the race win. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But good to see you, Mo. Hope you're doing well. Well done in your first race with us, by the way. In the Porsches, you had a very good race there. In my eyes, you had a very good race. Alvarez is not in the server either, which is a shame. And whilst we're waiting for the next session, let me tell you a bit more about our events. And that's our multi-class standing currently for the Porsches. Let me hide that from the week. So you're watching the GT2 World Championship here on YouTube. Monday night, we're heading to Croft in the PNR Touring Car Championship. We are moving over to the BTCC cars, which I need to make some new graphics for tonight. That starts at 8:30 tomorrow. And on Wednesday night, we are heading... Well, in fact, I can't remember where we're heading for the Porsche multi-class. Oh my god, I've completely forgotten. Either way, it's on Wednesday at 8:30. I need to have a look at what that is now. And like I said, you are watching the GT2 World Championship tonight here on Pretty Ninja YouTube. And let's hope for a good race/quali sesh. I need to have a look at that one. I cannot remember where the Porsches are next week. How bad am I? I was the one who made the events all together, and I can't seem to flip and remember where they are. Let's have a little look-see. So we're currently watching Race Control because Race Control is the best, aka me. So here, our championship leader is coming out of the pits there in that BMW, just on your screen now. Just gone flying by. Estoril, yes, did it? How can I forget Estoril? I love Estoril. You'll need a bit of practice, Mo, I'm not going to lie. It's a tricky old circuit, especially turn 3. The uphill, off-camber, right-hand hairpin. And when I say uphill, I'm talking like 45-degree plus uphill. Right-hander. It is a bit of a monster of a corner. Very easy to lose the car there. So make sure you get a little bit of practice in, my guy. 66 just trying to get a little bit of space. And there's Smith, who has got Butler right behind him. That's very smart, Butler. Waiting for a bit of space to kick in. So Smith, let's watch your first qualifying lap in the GT2 Championship for PNR. Let's see how you get on. Let's see if they're any better this time around through Sector 1 as he comes over the timing line now to start his flying lap. Garcia Soto is still in the pits, interestingly. Oh, the rear end steps out a little bit there. That's going to lose a couple of attempts. Really pushing up Porsche now as we come up to the nice left-hand hairpin. Very easy to get the rear end to step out here, though. If you've not got a smooth right foot, Garcia Soto is stopped. I'm guessing waiting for people to drive by. Coming out of the pit lane. 66 has just crossed over the line as well to start their flying lap. Oh, and Smith has got a drift on and they're gone. That's that lap time ruined. Butler is going to have to get through that. So that's Smith ruined their first lap. The pressure of the live stream pumping in high 144s on AC, 146 on in WS server. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay. That'll be the difference in track settings most likely. So it won't necessarily be you when you're driving. It'll just be the difference in track settings. So realistically, I'm expecting a Porsche 1-2. If I'm honest. As Lemmy's back in the pit, so clearly had a bit of a moment. Butler comes around the final corner, gets on the power. And over the timing line, so it's a 1:43.5 to beat. And Butler pulls over. I think he thinks that that's more than enough. I think he's going to go back to the pits now. Yeah, there he goes. Galicki's next over the line. And no time set. Coulson is then the next over the line. No time. Oh, yeah, time set. 49. 1:49. A lot of work to do for Coulson. Lobatolo comes over the line. No lap time. After that, it's going to be 66. To start a lap time. Or to end the lap time, sorry. And he moves into P2 with a 1:46. Smith is currently on track, but realistically the next lap to come over the line might well be Galicki. Where are they on track? Yeah, here's Galicki. So Galicki is currently on a flying lap in the BMW GT2. Well, if you ever wanted to join in any of the other events, even though they're amateur, just let me know. We will figure it out. Okay? So if you wanted to get involved in the PNTCC on Monday nights or anything like that, just let me know and we will get it sorted. As Galicki comes down the hill now, hopefully, no track cuts this time around. We can hear Porsche or Ferrari, by the sounds of it, heading towards the timing line. I think it's a Ferrari. Didn't quite see then. Figure touring cars? No worries, my guy. If you're about this evening after the race, just jump into VC and we'll get it sorted out. We'll get you registered. And Galicki comes over the line in P4. Lemmy has set a lap time to be like clearly an outlap. Who is going to be next over the line? It's going to be Lobatolo and then Garcia Soto. So Lobatolo comes over to get into P5. Garcia is in P3. So Garcia moves into P3. I did say I'm expecting a Porsche 1-2. Smith is yet to get a lap time in. Lemmy is also clearly just on was just an outlap. Coulson has improved to a 48, but it does need to get a little bit better if he wants, well, to be fair. Oh, and Smith is very deep coming down the hill. He's pushing. 3 minutes left on the clock. Garcia Soto has gotten off. Glickie's also gotten off. And over the line he comes to take P2, 1:45.0. So 2 seconds off the pace of a Butler. At that rate, I'm not 100% sure. Well, Smith would have to pit, so the reality is the gap to the next non-Porsche. Smith absolutely bins it, which if he's going to do that in the race, he's not going to have a good time. And Lettermy comes over the timing line. This is actually looking pretty strong here from Lettermy. This could be in the 47s. It is a 47.4. So slides into P5 ahead of Coulson. Looks like another lonely race is on the cards for Lettermy, sadly. Who do we need to keep an eye out for? 66 is currently on his outlap, I believe, because he was in the pits. Where's Garcia Soto? Garcia Soto is just coming up to the timing line now. I'm watching the leaderboard just in case it changes. Garcia Soto has got a very slow lap time here, if that's correct. It was correct. Well, it seems the time is just a little bit broken by the looks of it there. Mark Coulson is currently on a flying lap. You should have enough time to do one more after this. Galicki coming through the chicane. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone near the start-finish straight. Butler is in the pits, just chilling. Butler's chilling. He's having a cup of Yorkshire tea right now. It's Galicki. Looks like he's going to be next over the timing line. Currently on the super softs, Galicki, and not making him count. So whether this is a flying lap or if he's about to start a flying lap, or he or she, they. Over the timing line, looks like they're starting a flying lap. .66 has also just come over the timing line to start a flying lap. 1:46.2 is their best. They need to do better. They need to find a whole 1.2 seconds to gain a position, which I think for the BMW around here is going to be incredibly difficult to do. I think the Porsche has got too much straight line speed. Garcia Soto is off the circuit. Looks like a bit of a braking issue into the chicane, so that's it for Garcia Soto. No more chances there. Coulson comes over the timing line. Is there an improvement? Sadly not for Coulson, but like I said, he's got a chance. One more lap chance as Bartolo, sorry, goes into P6. These non-English names are very good for me. I'm not going to lie to you. They are very good for me because I can't talk at the best of times. So the fact that now I have to concentrate on my pronunciation is going to help me no end. So sorry if I butcher the names. But one man is learning. Galicki is coming down the hill and he's get on the brakes as late but as stable as possible. That BMW is looking very good under braking down the hill there. But currently sat in P8. It's the end of qualifying. Gets a bit of a slow run out of the last corner. I don't know who's behind. Could be 66. Getting some good slip as Galicki goes up. And 66 has done it. He's into a 1:44.9. Moves themselves into P2. What can Smith do? And Smith pips him back to take second place with 1:44.4. Oh, and sport is like ball. Okay. Sport ball. Sport and ball. Lemmy is back in the pits. Coulson again is still pushing. Can anything happen for the South African? He said it's been a rather hot day today, which is not the best thing to say to an Englishman in 8-degree weather when it's raining and horrible. And sadly not for Coulson. Olo moves into P6 ahead of Galicki. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I can't seem to get rid of the drive thing. That's a bit annoying. So Butler is starting on pole for us. Smith is in P2. Sorry again about the... Can I change it to like... Ah, there we go. That'll do. Smith is P2. 66 is P3. Only, well, half a second splits them. Which is quite a bit, realistically. The Purple Nurple Ferrari is in P4 of Lermy. Garcia Soto in P5. Lobatolo is in P6. Galicki falls down to P7 right at the very end there. And Coulson rounds us off in P8. So not a bad qualifying session whatsoever. And here is the wonderful safety car for today's event. It's not the FIA Formula 1 safety car. Oh no, I haven't, have I? I've ballsed this up big time. It's alright, I'll be able to sort that out, no problem. You'll just see... You're telling me that's the start... What? That's the starting camera? Really? Really, that's the starting camera? Oh dear. What terrible cameras. How is that a starting camera? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, let's watch 66 and P3 because that seems to give us a better camera. So here are the lights on your screen. We have 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 light, 6 lights. And off we go for round 3 of the GT2 World Championship here at Pretty Ninja. Will everyone survive into T1? Butler got a great start by looks of things. Smith got a great start too. The Porsches are just gone. 66 has fallen down to 4th position. Lemmy in 5th. Labartolo in 6th. Galicki in 7th. Well, in fact, Galicki falls down to P8 as Coulson makes their way through. I just need to quickly return back to pits. Drive. And let's just keep an eye on Galicki. And the Purple Nurple Ferrari is off. We just missed that then. So Lemmy's now at the back of the field. And is going to have to play the tyre saving game as it looks like Coulson and Galicki are battling it out. Ignore the controls are locked for some reason. It's not acting properly today. The 66 has got past the Porsche of Garcia Soto. I might just say Garcia. There's no other Garcias. I think you'll all know who I mean. So 66 is doing their best to keep up with the pack. Butler is currently leading the way, 1.2 seconds ahead already on the first lap. But needs to gain a lot of ground. No drive-through penalty to worry about this week. But tyres are definitely a factor if you're driving a Porsche. And Garcia's fallen down the grid here. Oh, it looks like they probably lost the rear end going through the chicane. Or maybe going for a lunge, we don't know. But Coulson is going on the attack against the BMW of Labartello. DRS is enabled apparently. Not sure why that's important for a GT2 race, but DRS is enabled. And Coulson is looking very quick going into the first set of corners. But the BMW is just a little bit better on the brakes. And Coulson has definitely decided to change the aerodynamics of his car pre-race by the looks of it. So we go inside the cockpit, trying to follow behind the BMW. And you can see just in the reverse cam there, the BMW of Galicki trying to pile on the pressure. Lemmy is also looking pretty good so far, and Garcia is 18 seconds behind after that spin. That'll buff out, says Mo. I think it will. I reckon it'll be fine. Get one of those suction cups on it. You'll be alright. As we go back on board with Coulson. Down the hill into probably the most awkward corner as the BMW runs wide. Allowing Coulson to stream on through. Into the chicane. So that's Coulson up to P4. Lopatolo, Galicki and Lemmy all fairly close to each other really. And Lemmy is looking rather racy already, and he's meant to be reserving his tyres because he's on the softs right now. So Lemmy needs to make these tyres work as sadly, it looks like Coulson's run wide and Galicki has run wide. Going downhill into the brakes. We'll have to check that out, whether there was any contact for Coulson, but looks like a few people already struggling with the brakes down the hill into the two left-handers coming onto the straight. So we just take a look at our race leader, who's already got an almost 3-second lead after as many laps. After 3 laps, almost a 3-second lead. 66 just needs to stay within a decent distance, which is going to be a bit tricky, I think, but it all depends on how quickly these Porsche tyres are going to burn out. After all, Butler is driving the mediums in this race. It all depends on how quickly they drop off. I think it was around about the 20-minute mark. Butler had to get in and change their tyres. But I think you're going to lose more time here at Imola through the pit stop rather than you did at the Lauerton Ring, which is going to be into effect. I don't know how many seconds exactly. Let's say around about the 30-second mark is usually a good bet. But Butler is definitely in command of this race right now. As we take a look at the purple and purple Ferrari of Lermy in P5, chasing after Lobatello. Down the hill they come, hard on the brakes. That BMW is a lot better on the brakes compared to the Ferrari by the looks of it. As Butler has just set the fastest lap of the race with 1:45.7. Can Letterme do anything about Lobatello in P4? Letterme has to look after his tyres. He has to do it, but Letterme steaming through into P4. Hard on the brakes they go. Can he get the car stopped? Oh, he locks up the front left, but he gets it done. Well done, Letterme. Oh, and where's Lobatello going? What a bizarre incident for Lobatello. Oh, and that's a massive unsafe rejoin there. Massively unsafe rejoin. Not 100% sure what they're trying to achieve here. They could have easily have just gotten out of that and got on with it. Garcia Soto is also now just coming up stopped. Let's have a quick load of the old World Sim Series website. It looks like Lobatello is now DNF'd and dropped out. Not sure why they would do that, to be honest, but okay. They were beaten fair and square. I'm not quite sure why they left that then. Garcia Soto will keep an eye on. Yeah, for a Pro-Am, not quite sure why they're kind of acting like that. So that was one of our Pro-Am drivers. In fact, this is the other Pro-Am driver that's currently driving right now. It's Garcia on screen. A lot of work to do, especially with a tyre change needing to happen. Coulson currently putting Galicki under pressure. The Ferrari's got much better straight line speed than the BMW. Galicki's taking the inside line. And the BMW is better on the brakes in my opinion. So I don't think Coulson will get the move done here. Maybe next time. But I think Coulson's biding his time a little bit here. So even though they're off to serve it, just putting a penalty on Labatolo purely for that unsafe rejoin. Should know better for a Pro-Am level driver on the World Sim Series website, as Coulson made his way through to Galicki whilst I was busy doing that. 66 on the other hand is caught right up to Smith. So I think Smith has clearly had a bit of an off somewhere. Not sure if 66 is going to push too hard. Yeah, you can see a lot of time was lost for Smith. So that Porsche's tyre is clearly struggling a little bit for Smith. Hard on the brakes. What can 66 do with this? He is our current championship leader. Fastest lap currently still Butler with the 1:44.431. As Garcia Soto has just set their personal best of the race so far. But you can see that Porsche in the straights. That Porsche has just got that BMW covered. It's in sectors like this where the BMW will gain a bit of time, and like the two corners at the bottom of the hill, where they can add the pressure. But 17 seconds is the gap. 34 minutes left of the race to go. The rest of the field is now quite spaced out. Letting me 11 seconds behind 66, and Coulson 11 seconds behind letting me. Galicki only 3 seconds behind Coulson. And Garcia is making some time up now. As Coulson just sets a PB off the race of 1:48.9. So now on par with his quali lap times. As 66 has clearly just let off the pressure a little bit here. I think Smith has got it well covered. But Smith right now will probably come out in about P4, not quite P5. So just ahead of Coulson if they went into the pits right now. Our race leader Butler is going to do their best to make these mediums stretch out. It's just how far can they be stretched, really? And that's the question. And Garcia has got the gap down to 15 seconds. On that last lap, Garcia was about 4 seconds quicker than Galicki ahead of them. Smith setting a 1:45, 66 doing a 1:47. Just keep an eye on the leaderboard. There's not much going on, but Butler's driving a very good race right now. But yeah, other than that, the field is very, very split. Mole, are you still there in chat by any chance, bud? If so, there's the PNTCC link. I believe you should be able to join. Just let me know, just in case. Just see if you can join. Let me know if you can or cannot. My advice, by the way, if you haven't driven these cars before, go for the Focus. So, half an hour left to go, or 29 minutes precisely. Butler is quite clearly in the dominating forces of this race. Smith is currently holding P2 rather nicely, so long they don't make any further mistakes as I did earlier. It's good getting mods downloaded. Sweet. Good to know. Our championship leaders sitting pretty in P3, getting a good haul of points here to extend the lead over Jay Sky, who's not attending today. Let's meet. We'll be nursing these tyres like a baby. He likes setting a challenge for himself, so we'll see how he gets on. Coulson, again, also just looking after his tyres and just making sure they stay consistent, not to make any mistakes, because Galicki is only 8 seconds behind, which in the grand scale of things, if you make a mistake, they'll be right on your rear end in no time. And then 10 seconds behind is Garcia with an epic drive back into contention, but they will most likely have to do a pit stop. Most likely. Now, if Butler pit now, just to make sure that they have enough tyre life, they will come out about 5 seconds behind 66. So Butler's cushion is pretty good, but he needs to make sure that he leaves plenty of time to be able to catch back the leaders. Otherwise, 66 will get an easy race win. But that's assuming that a pit stop's about 30 seconds long. But again, I don't know how Butler's tyres are doing right now. And if we go inside the car, you'll see that there is no indication whatsoever about how his tyres are doing. None at all. Laser focused here, Butler. Being very smooth. Being very smooth. It's very nice to watch, especially in Classic Porsche like this one. Like a smooth operator. Smooth operator. I don't think that's going to help though. Well, obviously being smooth is definitely going to help his tyre life. With 26 minutes to go, I'm really intrigued to see how the tyre life is. There's a lot more corners here, but they're not fast ones. They're all relatively slow, which is a bit kinder on the tyres. Very nice lap that we just watched there by Butler. And Garcia is also driving rather smooth, but also rather rapid. And if you're brand new here to the channel, again, my name is Anders. I'm your host for this evening's championship race here on Pretty Ninja YouTube. Make sure you leave a nice little like and a nice little subscribe if you want to be cheeky enough. But if you want to get involved in any of our events, we have the PNTCC coming up tomorrow night at Croft. 2 races, both 10 minutes long, and one is reversed, but only I know the position of the reversed race. So, all fun and games, really. And there's a rather close championship. And then the Porsche multi-class is at Estoril on Wednesday night at 8:30 GMT. But right now you're watching the PNR GT2 World Championship, and just ahead there you can see from Garcia is Galicki. Who has a rather rapid Porsche descending upon them. By the end of this lap, I think Garcia is going to be in a position to be challenging down the main straight now. Oh, a bit shallow going into that left-hander there, Garcia Soto. Or Garcia. But it seems to be working for them. Running a little bit wide. Almost losing the rear end. Garcia is pushing quite mightily. He's doing the same sort of race pace as Letterme in P4, so understandably they're going to be quite annoyed with a couple of the events that have happened during this race. And now, in fact, I think if Butler were to pit, he would come out just ahead of 66. So there is plenty of time for Butler. Oh no, and Galicki outbrakes themselves into turn 1, allowing Garcia to go through. It was inevitable, to be honest. Next up is going to be Coulson. There's a 30-second gap. Yeah, he would literally come out 2 seconds ahead of 66. That's if we are correct with it being a 30-second pit stop. I'm only assuming it's 30 seconds. I don't know for sure. Could be longer. It's a long and slow pit stop here at Imola. Or should I say Autodrome Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari? I think I got that right. Autodrome Internazionale Enzo Edino Ferrari. Imola. Don't you just love a British farmer voice trying to do Italian? It's the most gorgeous thing in the world. Back to the racing. 21 minutes left on the clock. Butler is still in a commanding lead. No idea to what's going on with tyres. We are unable to see that, but I would assume that it's starting to go off a little bit because Smith is actually, well, he gained a little bit of time that lap, Smith. So whether Butler now is just properly pacing himself. If Butler was smart, he would have done a fake pit stop in practice to know what the gappage needs to be. But quite frankly, if he comes out with fresh rubber and a lighter car and just went absolutely gunning for it with less than half of the race to go, I still think he could quite easily get the race win as Galicki is in the pits. So Galicki clearly feels like tyres needs to be changed and missed their pit stop sadly. So Galicki is in. Smith is on hards, Jamski said. Okay. So Smith is on the longer tyre. Doesn't show on the board. Thank you, Jamski. So Smith, in that case, might be able to eat those tyres to the end. And might be able to make something of this then. So reality isn't actually the race of 66 versus Butler. 66 is now doing 148. So maybe 66 is starting to struggle with the tyre pace. I don't know. But realistically it's between Smith and Butler. But even then, I think if Butler went into the pits right now and came out with some softs or mediums and just drove like a, well, just drove, they would win the race easily, I feel. But Smith is definitely putting on a good show here. Driving under the Pretty Ninja flag today, Smith. And here is our championship leader right now, as Coulson just sets his personal best for the session so far. Garcia in the Porsche is on the mediums. So if Garcia pits, we know that Butler probably needs to pit. But the gap has stayed hovering around about 11 seconds for Garcia and Coulson, so just have to wait and see. I think 66 just hoping that at least Smith will need to go into the pits, because I think if Smith goes into the pits, P2 is definitely on the cards for 66. Letterme, however, the absolute madman in the Purple Nurple Ferrari on the softs, stretching them out across a 45-minute race. Apparently the mediums are very horrible to drive in the Ferrari around here. As Butler is in the pits. And are they coming out of the pits? They are coming out of the pits. So that was a very, very fast pit stop. And is now 7 seconds behind Smith. So that was about 30 seconds. We were about right. It was a 30-second stop. And 66 is now going to watch that Porsche on some fresh rubber and a light fuel load just disappear now, and there's nothing they can do about it. Great race management here by Butler. As Coulson is currently looks like he's off the circuit. He is off the circuit, and that's allowing Garcia to go through. So it's that treacherous downhill left-hander again for Coulson. That's undone his hard work. But if Butler's had to pit, then Garcia will most definitely need to pit. But 2 seconds already is the gap between 66 and Butler. Oh, and that sounded a bit dodgy there for Smith. You could just hear that in the background. Car was quite unsettled. But this is your current race leader with 16 minutes to go. Butler's already cut the gap down by 1.5 seconds after his outlap alone. So Smith needs to find some quali laps. So yeah. Definitely some good race strategy there by Butler. 66 is in the red. And he spun it in sector 1. Doesn't need to worry too much. Lemmy is quite far behind, so, well, not far behind really, but that does allow Smith a big window of opportunity now. The gap is now 21 seconds. So if Smith needed to go into the pits and wanted a battle for P2, the gap is now there. Unforced error by 66. And Lettermy is now 12 seconds behind, as I believe that's Galicki letting 66 by. Very kind of Galicki. Indeed it is. And it's not been the BMW's day today. Team BMW not fully optimised for this circuit. As we head to watch Butler, who has got the gap down to 3.5 seconds. And it's just eating it away. Look at those temps disappear. 1:43.8, fastest lap of the race with 14 minutes left to go. I think Smith knows what's about to happen, really. And Butler can absolutely just pin it. Pedal to the metal. Lighter car. Fresh rubber. Really, really push it. And Lettermy had a bit of a poor lap as well for 1:52. Losing a lot of time. But the gap is 21 seconds and Garcia has spun it going down the double left-hander. That'll be the tyres going. Down to 6th place. There you go. 13 minutes left to go. I think Garcia is absolutely mad for still being out there on the mediums. Just needs to get in, get some fresh rubber on, set some absolute mega laps again. But you can tell they've not really trying too hard now. You can hear them just kind of chilling out. Not really trying too hard. And Butler has just taken Smith down into that awkward left-hander. And there is nothing Smith can do about it. I think even in the slip, Butler's just got such a good exit out of those two corners and on the fresher rubber. It's just nothing Smith can do. Butler in DRS range. You didn't need DRS. No DRS required. Oh, and it sounds like Smith has just had a bit of a spin. And he has. So that's 66 getting closer again. Is that the hard tyres now kind of slowly getting into their danger spot? So can 66 get his head down, get some good lap times in? You can see that Porsche's very unhappy right now. And try and make something of it. It's looking incredibly squirrely on those hard tyres. And now the gap is down to 15 seconds. Now again, reality says if Smith were to pit and put on some mediums this lap and absolutely gun it for the rest of the race, because the Porsche is far quicker around here than the BMW. they could very well get P2 back. Looks like he's driving on ice now. Yeah, Mole, you definitely got that right. That Porsche is not very happy and is losing a lot of time to 66 behind. Butler has got a very easy race on his hands as long as he doesn't bin it. But I think Smith, realistically, after a few spins now, those tyres are going to be... He cannot pit. Can he not? Can Smith not pit? Well, Smith is pitting now, in fact. Okay, let's keep an eye out for this. So. Oh, he's got to stop and go. For speeding in the pit lane. So there goes 66 to take P2. And Smith is going to have to do a stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So Lermy in the purple Ferrari could very well, or probably will, get P3 come the end of this race now, as there comes Smith out of the pits. There goes the purple Ferrari. And Lermy, who's currently P3 in the championship, could finish P3 in this race now. Smith is on the mediums, but he does have a 10-second stop and go to do. And if he doesn't do it, it adds like a minute onto the end of your lap time. The one thing Smith can't do is overdrive that car now. Mayor, hello, how are you? Mayor in chat. How was your F1 race? Another twist in the PNR GT2 Championship. There's not much of a twist in regards to who's going to win this race today. But there is a twist in regards to who might get P3. But Smith needs to just get that drive-through out of the way. And see what sort of damage limitation they can do. Because realistically, after that 10-second stop and go, Coulson would have gone by, most likely. And that's if he doesn't speed into the pits again. Which would just be bad times. Bad times for Smith. So the purple Ferrari. Now what is Smith going to do? Keep an eye on Smith in the back. Smith is coming into the pits. Get it slowed right down. Well done, Smith. Much better this time. Much better this time. Don't stop in your pit box. Just drive to the end. Stop. Wait. Oh, he has stopped in his pit box. Can you do a stop and go? A little disappointing like every Sunday evening. Well, you know what wouldn't be disappointing? If you come and joined our event on a Sunday evening. Then you wouldn't be disappointed. Smith drops the place down to Coulson. Out of the pits, Smith comes. Is that the stop and go done? It doesn't say it is, but I'm going to try and clear it because clearly he did do it. So let me try and get that sorted out during this race. Bear with me 1 second. Sorry, I think it's only fair that we get this cleared. There we go. Cleared. Done. Don't need to worry about it now. He's done it. You just don't do it in your pit box. It doesn't register. After the F1 season, I think only 2 races left. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. What damage limitation can Smith do? Can he gain 11 seconds back to Coulson in 6 minutes? Roughly 3 to 4 laps. Nice livery on Smith's car. That's the standard Porsche livery for the 1998 FIA GT racer. is very nice, you are correct. And there is Butler, our race leader, not far behind Smith. So once Smith was only 2 seconds behind and now is in danger of getting lapped. Oh, Coulson's got a drive-through for cutting. Why do free drivers have white badges? Well, I think it's purely because it's technically a different car class, but it's technically a GT2 Porsche. So that's why they got white badges. They're all under the same bracket, but they are technically from a different era. So they're all GT2s, it's just a different era, and it was called the FIA GT class back then. As it sounds like someone ahead of them, maybe Smith, had a bit more of an incident. How's the Porker? 40 seconds ahead. So basically, the BMW is not strong around here. Effectively, it's definitely been good to the Porsche. Butler has been absolutely rapid throughout. And in the nicest way, has left 66 for absolute dust this race. The Porsche has just been a completely different class. It didn't get a further nerf because at the end of the day we thought that, you know, the fact that they would have to do a pit stop would nullify its straight line performance, but clearly that might have to be reassessed. And there is Garcia, who still hasn't pitted and is on the mediums. Mad person. Mad person. No problems with tyre, Greg, this time. Yes, Butler has actually done a full pit stop and done a full tyre change. And is still 40 seconds ahead of 66. 66 has made a couple of mistakes. And hasn't been in P2 the whole of this race. He's been mainly in P3. As you can see, the Ferrari of Mark Coulson going into the pits. So Imola has been rather harsh on the tyres. It's just like, in the nicest way, Butler has driven an absolute perfect race tonight. Yeah, it's 40 seconds down the road. 66 has made mistakes. Oh no, Coulson's had to do his drive-through, didn't he? There we go, drive-through's taken. That was me thinking he was going into the pits. But yeah, Butler has made a no-mistake race. He's been really quick all session. Like, not slightly quick, really quick. He's been on it since lap 1. 66 made a rather large mistake, lost about 20 seconds. But yeah, he has been absolutely amazing tonight. That Porker is a handful. It is. The problem is, if the other GT2s get added, this Porker won't exist because there'll be another Porker to choose. So we'll see what happens when the other GT2s get added. Next up is Silverstone, so we might have to nerf the Porsche just that little bit more. Because obviously that is a top-end speed venue. Is it? Let me just double check. I could be wrong with that actually. No, it's St. Petersburg. St. Petersburg next. As I believe that was Smith that went off the circuit just there. About time you got his first P&R win. It is about time. You are correct, Jay. You are correct. It is definitely about time he got his first win. I mean, don't get me wrong, 66 has driven a good race apart from 1 or 2 mistakes. But Butler has just been a different class today here at Imola. And Letterme is somehow going to finish P3. I guess anyone can pick it, so it's fair. It is fair. It is fair. Anyone can pick the Porsche. It's there. I don't like, you know, punishing good drivers, really. Garcia is stopped. An error in T1 and 2 by looks of it. Nice safe rejoin compared to someone that took them out earlier today. Garcia has not had the nicest of races, but well done for keeping going. Not had the nicest of races today, sadly, with Lobatolo taking him out on a really stupid rejoin and just spinning around in the circuit. So away they went. Galicki, good effort. Good effort today. A couple of mistakes again. Everyone basically, bar Butler, has made mistakes in this race. But the fact that it's 50 seconds with 1 lap left, Butler undoubtedly has been absolutely fantastic this evening. He just seemed to have worked out this car. Yeah, no amateur license for Sport, but I've reduced the pin TCC to rookie so they can join. What I'm going to do in a minute, though, before I finish the stream, is move it back up to AM and see if more can still join. As he lied every lap. Basically, yes. Every lap bar 1 when he had to go into the pits. Comes down the hill now. It would be such a shame if he binned it. Look at that, gets the car nice and stopped. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here is your round 3 GT2 World Championship race winner. Butler comes over the line with 55 seconds to spare. Great race drive from Butler. There is a problem with my rank for the BTCC. I've got a funny feeling it's because you're on 999 points, isn't it, instead of 1,000. Don't worry, Molt, we'll get that sorted in just a moment. And here is 66. Battling with that BMW. And Smith is disconnected from the server, finishing P4. Should have been P2, but just made too many mistakes. Coulson finishing P5. 66 going to come over the line to finish P2 to extend his lead in the championship by a further 18 points. Lettermy, wherever his name's not even showing up on my little name clicker thing I have off screen. And Lettermy, somehow in the purple nurple Ferrari, in some pair of softs which probably have no tyre life left in them, is going to finish P3. Feels so bad for Smith. Great drive. Smith did a fantastic job, but just made too many errors on those hard tyres. And Lettermy gets P3. He'll be over the moon with that. He knows that that's a hell of a result. And Garcia finishing P7 again. Garcia should have got a much better result, but again, it was down to too many mistakes and, in all fairness, being taken out by a very, 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 very silly rejoin. So whilst everyone's disconnecting from the server, let me talk you through our up-and-coming events. The Porsche Multi-Class is back on Wednesday night as we head over to Estoril in Portugal. It's going to be a good race for that one. You're currently watching the GT2 World Championship. I'll tell you where we are racing next weekend in just a moment. And the return of the PNTCC Monday night at Croft is going to be a hell of a banger. Make sure you get yourself signed up for that. It's going to be such a good race. And in fact, next week for the GT2 World Championship, we're heading stateside, and it's the St. Petersburg GT2 World Championship race. Walled Street Circuit. It's going to be a good one. Right, we need to get out of the server. There we go. We'll just leave that running a minute whilst we wait for the standings to update. And in the meantime, in fact, I'm going to sort it out so Mole can get involved tomorrow night for the PNTCC at Croft. Let me just fix that just a momento. $9.99. Save. There you go. You should now be able to join Mole. So as long as you got a rookie license and your rating is over $9.99, you'll be able to get involved. Looks like there is another horrible car livery by Mr. Mayor. Rip tyres, 2 fronts blew out in the last lap. Flipping heck, Lemmy, it did look like you were having a bit of a rough time. You should definitely just pick the mediums next time, I feel. Especially around St. Petersburg, because those tyres are going to get destroyed at St. Pete's. Okay, now let's head over to the standings. Just a moment. Okay, let's see if this works. And here we go. The PNR GT2 World Championship 66 is on top with 86 points. To Letterme in second with 44, 3 points ahead of Butler in P3. J Sky falls down to P4 with 36 points. Kosh in P5 with 25. Colson in P6 with 24. Lloyd in P7 with 22. By the looks of it, if I'm getting this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. In P8, we've got Sobek still, who didn't race tonight. Smith gets his first lot of points in the GT2 World Championship and moves into P9 on the table. And Galicki also gets their first load of points onto the table with P10 and 10 points, in fact. What's wrong with my livery? Everything. Everything is wrong with your livery. Just saying. You can pick you out from a crowd. That's the main thing. 2 races this week because of work. We'll try to. No worries, mate. You do what you can. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you join me tomorrow night. I need to make a studio scene where the music's still going, actually, don't I? Really? Rather than it just go flat. But anyway, join me tomorrow night here at Pretty Ninja Racing on YouTube for the PNTCC round 3? 4? My memory is so bad. I mean, I've got such baby brain today. It's not good. I want to make sure I get this right. Look, I'm even so dedicated that I'm trying to learn the actual name of Imola. Autodrome Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. That's how dedicated I am to this. Wikipedia saves my bacon. Round 3. Yes, it is. It is round 3. That's good. Round 3 of the PNTC at Croft. Make sure you're there tomorrow night for some intense racing. Only I know which number the reverse grid is, so the more the merrier. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. Have a good Monday and be ready to race tomorrow evening. Bye-bye.